Good evening, campers. Man, it is great to see you today. We are coming to you live from Cedarmore Camp, right on the bank of the swimming hole here at Crossings. And here in just a little while, this place is going to be packed with people worshiping and swimming. And I know you've had a great week at camp. And what was that? What was that, Susan? We didn't have camp this year. Oh, that's right. Sorry about that. So actually, I guess I should say, welcome to LF Students Live. We're glad you're joining us tonight. This would actually be day 4 of summer camp, but we're not there. I'm sorry about that, but we're glad you joined us tonight. We have a really exciting announcement, though, to kick things off. We want to put this on your calendar right now because we don't want you to miss it. Next summer's camp is already booked. We are signed up, ready to go. So we need you to put these dates on your calendar right now. July the 8th through the 12th. Put it on your calendar right now. We're going to be going back to Crossings, and we cannot wait. Hate it that we didn't get to go this year, but we look forward to next year. It's going to be incredible. So go ahead and put those dates on there. And again, we're glad you joined us tonight for LF Students Live.
What? We're live? I thought Josh was supposed to be here. Where's the prompter? What am I supposed to? Hi, welcome to LF Students Live. We are excited that you joined us tonight. I don't know did Josh mention camp, by the way? Did y'all know camp's coming up next year, July 8th through the 14th, I think, or 12th? Or he's going to tell us here in just a minute. I know he's around here somewhere. Josh. Hey. Josh, come in. Join us.
Hey,
Oh, don't.
let me. Oh, water. Gotta catch my breath.
What was the date for camp again?
I just came from Cedarmore. We're supposed to be at camp like right now.
No.
And nobody was there.
That was embarrassing.
Oh, it's crazy.
I felt bad for you when I was watching the video.
Oh,
I knew that. Nobody was there.
nobody told me.
Sorry.
Oh, that's brutal.
So when is it next year? You said July.
July the 8th through the 12th. Crossings. Put it on your calendar now. It's going to
Next
be
year. It's
awesome.
going to be a ton of fun. Huh?
It's going to be a ton of fun.
Why would people want to go to camp, Josh?
I don't know, but you know what? I bet we can give them 10 reasons why they should go to camp. What do you think?
10 reasons.
10
camp
reasons.
is a great experience. Top 10 reasons. Okay, let's
Top
give
10
them,
reasons why they
let's
should
give
go
them
to camp
10
next year.
reasons why they ought to go to camp.
All right, here we go.
Reason number 10. Reason number 10, it's a week away from mom and dad.
Absolutely. Amen. Unless your mom or your dad go as a chaperone, and then
Then you stop.
sorry about your luck. All right, reason number 9, you should go to camp next year. No showers for the middle school boys. You just clean off when you're in the lake. And a
That's
little
my
Axe
favorite.
body and a little Axe body spray to go with it.
It's fun being a middle school boy counselor.
Absolutely.
Reason number 8. Oh, sorry. Reason number 8. Camp t-shirt. You know, if I was to start wearing from all the camp t-shirts that I ever got at camp, I could do a whole month worth of days without changing a single shirt, without having a new shirt.
Take a
different
guess
shirt.
how many camp t-shirts
30.
you got.
I got about 30 camp t-shirts.
At
I
least.
can wear a whole month worth of camp t-shirts.
Yep, absolutely. Reason number 7. Golf cart rides with your student pastor.
I've heard that's scary.
Nothing but, and you know what? I almost tipped it twice last year, but it's all in good fun.
I've heard you can drive those things.
You know what?
Wheels.
You get them on 2 wheels, going up the hill. It's fun.
Camp, the reason number 6 to go to camp next year is you might meet your future spouse.
It could happen.
It could happen
It could happen.
at camp.
I mean, there are hundreds of other teenagers there.
Attractive people who
Yeah,
love Jesus.
Who love Jesus. It could happen. All right, reason number 5. You should go to camp next summer. POIs. I'm talking zip lines. I'm talking laser tag. I'm talking bazooka ball.
Lake, swimming.
I'm talking lake. I'm talking swimming. I mean, all kinds of fun stuff to do.
And fun dorms.
Fun dorms. Absolutely.
Reason number 4 to go to camp next year. Foot massages from the fish in the lake.
Yes. I don't know if you've ever had this happen to you, but they just come up to you and they just kind of nibble on your feet. It's kind of like a
Yep.
little massage.
And
It feels-
sometimes it's not a nibble. Sometimes it
Sometimes.
leaves its jaws. leaving-
I heard somebody, a camper put piranhas in there. So it could be one of those too. So, all right. Reason number 3, you should go to camp. All your favorite friends will be there. All my favorite friends will be there. Even me.
He's from the South.
That's
Reason
right.
number 2 should go to camp. It's amazing worship and Bible study.
Absolutely.
You have incredible experiences worship and studying God's Word.
Absolutely. There is nothing better, nothing more exciting than 500, 600 teenagers praising God together at the same time. It's
Away from
amazing.
all the distractions of life, you're there
Amazing.
and focused in.
Amazing. And reason number 1, you should go to camp next summer. God just might change your life. God always
Absolutely.
does amazing things at camp. And so I hope you'll go ahead and put those dates on your calendar and be a part of camp next year, because it's going to be a great time. We've got a whole year to anticipate and get excited. But man, I can't wait. I can't wait for camp. But in the meantime, I will tell you this. We'll have some retreats and things like that coming up beforehand. We want to encourage you to go on those and be a part of those as well. Get you excited, get you ready for camp as well. But speaking of camp, we played a game last week that was a lot of fun, Mike. It was called Love It or Hate It. So this week we're going to play that same game again, except that we're going to play Summer Camp Edition.
The version, okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's really simple. A picture's going to come up there, and you just have to chat. Do you love it or do you hate it? All right. So here's the first thing: love it or hate it. Summer Camp Edition. Camp food. Ooh. Camp food. What do you think, Mike? You've been doing this since like the dinosaurs walked the earth.
Yes, and
So-
back then it was hated, but nowadays I got to say I love it, especially because I'm always hungry. So
I do too, and you
Yep.
can go back for seconds,
Yes,
which makes me happy. So yeah, all right, love it or hate it. Next one, zip lining. What about you, Mike?
I love zip lining. I love to zip line. I've never done like the lean back sort of thing.
Yeah.
I've never done that. I'm always kind of like this, hanging on, but I still love it.
I love zip lining. It's so much fun. Scary, When you're up on that platform, you got to take that step. That
Uh-huh.
step of
That's
faith.
the
That
part I
step of
hate.
faith. Yeah. But zip lining's fun. If you haven't done zip lining, you ought to next summer you ought to sign up for that POI because it's a lot of fun. All right, love it or hate it. Next one, walking the hills.
Whew. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. I like to walk.
I know you do.
I like
I
the
knew
exercise.
we would be divided on this.
So I've even got new shoes. See my new shoes?
let me see
See,
them.
those are
Let me see
walking
them.
shoes.
Ooh, that's
New
nice.
walking shoes.
Those
so
are pretty. Those are
give me
Kentucky blue too.
you get, oh,
Oh, I like that. I like
can
that.
show that.
Yep.
But yeah, so I like to walk. So I'd have to say love it. What about you?
I'm going to say hate it. But you know what? I don't have to walk the hills. You know why?
Because you get the golf cart.
I got the golf
got the
cart.
golf
That's
cart.
exactly right. So
Give kids a ride
absolutely.
on 2 wheels.
Absolutely. So the middle schoolers hate me because I never give them rides. I only give the high schoolers rides.
I understand.
So,
they
yeah.
smell bad. They don't take
They
showers.
smell bad. They don't
at
take
camp.
showers. That's right.
Hello.
That's right. All right. Love it or hate it. Next one. Sweating. You sweat at camp. I go through about
sweat
3
like
t-shirts
crazy.
a day.
I hate it. I hate it.
I do too.
Yeah.
I do too.
Always sticky and
Oh.
clothes and
Yeah. I mean, I've been. This is the first year, Mike, in I think I counted up 24 years, 24 summers in a row. I've been to summer camp somewhere, either as a student, a leader, or a student pastor. And I've learned over the years, you need to pack about 3 times as many t-shirts as you think you're going to wear because you're going to go through them.
you're gonna wash them out every day. Washing that out again.
That's right.
Yep.
That's right. All right. Love it or hate it. Student camp edition. Next one. Swimming in a lake. Some people think this is weird.
Love it. Love it.
Do you?
I grew up doing it. Grew up out in the country. We would swim in ponds and lakes and rivers and creeks, and so I love it.
Even with the fish.
Even with the
bites.
fish, I attract lots of fish.
Here's my job at camp on the lake. My job is I am the official blobber. And so my job is to climb up the tower, jump off and send somebody sailing about 40 feet in the air
And then climb the ladder
and then
again.
climb the ladder and do it again. That's about the swimming that I do.
That sounds like I hate it to me.
You know, it's
All that
I mean,
ladder climbing. The blobbing's fun.
the
ladder
blobbing's fun. But you know what? I tell you what, I've blobbed people. I bet I've done hundreds of blobs. And every time I jump off that platform, it scares me to death. So anyway, so if you've never done the blobbing with me, maybe next year that could be your year. Let's do another one. Love it or hate it. Spending an entire week driving your student pastor. Oh, I'm sorry. Spending the entire week with your favorite student pastor, which
I'm with you all the time.
I know.
I work with you. I'm all the time with you. So
I know.
I understand what that's like. I like it.
I know.
I love it.
I realize that picture on the screen right now is causing some of you to stumble. Just the
physique.
absolute physique that's shown off
The
in that
manliness.
picture. I'm talking about Dave Richardson, of course.
Yeah,
There,
of course.
but no, it's one of my favorite things about camp is getting to go spend a week with you guys and just hang out all week long. It's a lot of fun. All right, love it or hate it. Summer camp edition. Next one, bus rides. You've been on a lot of bus rides.
That's a tough one.
That is
Great
tough.
conversations on bus rides.
Great conversations.
I love the hanging out, but some of the bus rides I've had when they've broken down,
Yeah.
That's that moment, that part of the thing that just always hangs in
Yep.
question. What's going to happen here?
How many buses have you had break down in your 43,000 years as a youth pastor?
A lot of buses broke to the point where I kind of want to draw big targets on the back of them and park them in the middle of the interstate so trucks would come along and
Say, hit me
plow
here.
them, please. But yeah, we've been there.
Callie Grant says, love it sometimes. You'll have to elaborate on that, Callie. All right, love it or hate it, summer camp edition. Next one, morning celebration. I want to point this picture out. Okay, this picture is hilarious to me because you have Gracie Spear who acts like she's trying to clap, but really not into it because it's too early. Then you have Abby Kurtzinger in the back throwing up the hand like this is not no, not at all. So some of you love it, some of you hate it. What do you think, Mike? Morning celebration.
I love morning celebration.
Do you really?
Now, as the week goes on and I'm tired, more and more tired, but that helps me wake up in the morning. I love the morning celebration. Great time just to honor the Lord first thing. Right away. Start the day right. Have fun, play, do good stuff.
Yeah, I normally enjoy morning celebration, except when I have to get chosen as one of the student pastors that has to humiliate themselves in front of everybody. And then I don't enjoy it so much.
I always liked not being that guy.
Yeah, I always like making fun of the other student pastors
Yes.
that have to do that and laughing at them all day because they made fools out of themselves. So that's a lot of fun. All right, next one. Love it or hate it? Bunk beds.
Bunk beds. Gotta love bunk beds because it makes you appreciate your own bed when you come
That's a
home.
great point. That is a great point. I normally don't get used to the bunk bed until about night 3. Nights 1 and 2, it's
No
rough.
sleep.
It is rough nights 1 and 2. But by about night 3, I don't know if I'm so tired that.
Now, I will tell you, I learned over the years. Okay.
Yep.
So when I went to camp, I actually brought a memory foam mattress.
Ooh.
I brought a fan, a little small fan
Gotta
to
have
hang
a
up,
fan.
had battery, and I would put the memory foam mattress down, and then I had an amazing pillow, and then put the fan on, and my bed was the place to be because like you get in it like instant coolness,
Yep.
instant comfort. So I learned to actually take advantage of the bunk bed.
Nice. Were you a bottom bunk or a top bunk guy?
Oh, I was always the bottom bunk. I didn't want to fall off the top bunk. I'd roll over and fall off.
That's funny. All right. Did he have a body pillow? I don't know about Mike, but I have my body pillow. I do not go to camp without my body pillow, Mike. That is an
I
essential.
never had a body pillow.
Oh, you are
What's that
missing
like?
out. You are
Yeah?
missing out, Mike. You know, that is an essential element to my camp experience is my body pillow.
Does it make for good pillow fights?
Yes, it does, except I don't let anybody else touch it. I mean, it is my body pillow. And yeah. All right. A couple more, I think. Love it or hate it. The Blob. The Blob. I already told you, I love the Blob. I love actually now climbing the steps is not much fun, but blobbing people and seeing them fly through the air.
I like both sides because people couldn't blob me real high,
Right.
but high enough that it was fun.
Yep.
But I could always blob pretty good because I weighed enough that I
Yep.
could do that. So I love it. Love it.
Gracie Spear says she's never tried it. Next summer is your time, Gracie Spear.
Can I
It
do
is-
her?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Some of these smaller girls, they actually hope nobody from Crossings is watching this. So they have a 100-pound weight limit
Difference.
difference. I try to stretch that just a little bit. So there are certain people that I've asked to let me blob them. Let's just say it was a little bit more than 100 pounds, and I sent them to Indiana. So it was fun.
They didn't land in the water.
To infinity and beyond, as
There you
Josh
go.
Keenan says. That's right. All right. Do we have any more? I think we got maybe one more. Love it or hate it, Gaga Ball.
You know, camp that I went to camp a couple years ago, or 3 years ago, or before you came, I'd never done Gaga Ball.
Really?
Never played Gaga Ball till I went there. Had a great time, but they had that concrete scrape my knuckles.
Ooh, yeah, you do.
Had scabs on all my knuckles, which that part I hated.
You do.
And I hated turning it back off. When you play again and you get last night's scab off, that was no fun. But I loved the game. Fun game.
Dave Richardson loves Gaga Ball. He would tell you that he is the Gaga Ball champion.
He won a series one time.
One time.
One time.
One
Yeah.
time. And I don't think
So
he's
that-
won a game since.
Yeah,
But
but
he still talks about that
trained
one.
himself as a
time.
champion from that point on.
All right. Well, good deal. Well, that was fun. Love it or hate it. We love camp. We're looking forward to it next summer. Again, July 8th through the 12th. Put it on your calendar now. Well, Mike, we want to play another game that is one of our favorites here at LF Students Live to get to know you a little bit better, just in case you don't know Mike. This is Mike Rhodes. He is what is your title now? It's changed.
I'm the pastor for missions and equipping. Equipping and
Pastor
missions.
of missions and equipping here at Little Flock. But what you might not know is that Mike was actually the student pastor here at Little Flock for how many
Ever.
years?
For a lot of years. 2 stays, probably
67 years, something like that.
Yes, it's 9, and it was about 16, 17, 18 years.
Long
a long
time.
time.
Long
Long
time.
time.
So he's done student ministry for a long
Did student ministry
time.
for 30 years.
Yep. So let's play Ask Me Anything. The way this is going to work, Mike.
Ask
They're
me
gonna
anything.
shoot some text through the chat. I'm gonna ask you, and then you're gonna answer them. We're gonna tell
Okay.
you a little bit better. All right. All right. So Maddie Howe wants to know how many bodies are in your house,
Oh,
counting the dogs.
how many bodies?
How many bodies? Not.
I can't tell that. I can get arrested for that. How many people live in my house?
How many people live in your house? How about that?
We have
And animals.
my favorite wife
I'm glad.
and
Yeah.
myself,
What's
and-
your favorite wife's name?
Sylvia,
Sylvia,
and then we have
who is also the librarian here at the church.
She does librarian here, but she's also a librarian in the school system.
Oh.
She works at the TAP school.
There you go.
So, and then we also have our son Nathan living with us, and then we have 2 dogs.
Named.
One's a hater, that's Achilles, and then there's Hudson, who's our big dog.
I like Hudson.
Hudson's our big dog.
He looks scary, but he's a friendly
He
little
thinks
beast.
everybody wants to pet him. I know you want to pet me. That's always his thought.
All right. Cool. Awesome. More questions. Anybody got some more questions? Did you ever I like this? Nate Ashball wants to know, did you ever lose a student on a trip?
Yes.
It's safe now. I mean,
Yes. And we were almost back to the church when I went, where's Mark Fowl? And we had to turn around and go back and get it. We left him at a gas station and we had to go back and get him.
and this is the day before cell phones.
It was. And he was trying to figure out what he was going to do and how he was going to get back. And yes, been there.
That's funny. Okay. Kaylee Smith wants to know, what is your favorite camp memory? And you've had a ton of them.
My favorite camp memory is really more of a retreat memory, to be honest with you.
That's not allowed.
It
She
was-
asked camp.
Okay,
I'm
camp.
just
My
kidding.
favorite camp
I'm just
memory. It was like a camp. It was just a weekend. We had an event out of which a thing that we called Power Hour was born. We had this event at one camp where our kids had just been distracted and just kind of all over the place, and so we just felt like the enemy was really attacking. So we said, let's go out on the dock and let's just spend some time praying together. It was the most powerful time I've ever experienced with a group of believers. I mean,
Yeah.
the Holy Spirit literally fell on that place,
Mm.
and revival, dominated the atmosphere of our group for the next 6 months. It was
That's
cool
cool.
to be a part of. So that's my favorite memory of all,
That's
probably.
awesome.
But there were so many things I loved about camp. Camp was one of, because God uses those times away
Yeah.
to really do in us things He wants to, and when we're focused. And so I love camp.
Yep. Absolutely. All right. Robin Howe wants to know, who was your favorite?
Robin Howe.
Who was your favorite youth when you first came to Little Flock?
It was really funny because I came to Little Flock in '93, and I followed a guy that had been pretty well liked, but he had not left. It was just a difficult time, and so a lot of the students didn't like the new guy.
Mm-hmm.
And Robin Howe and Matt Hall were the two that accepted me. Matter of fact, Robin showed up at my house, big banner to put on the wall that welcomed us and brought us some cake. And
Nobody
so
brought me cake.
nobody brought you.
No.
Did Robin know you were here? Robin, did you know that he's here?
About
That'll
3
take
weeks
care of
ago, she figured out I was a student pastor. So
That'll take care of it. Yeah, early on, I mean, right away, Robin and Matt were my friends right away, and I was grateful for that.
that's cool. Grace Gibson wants to know, do you like Noah or Brittany Frank better? Oh, you could tell some stories on them. They're both in your student ministry.
They're not watching, right?
Probably so. Actually, they're on vacation. Oh, no, Noah's on.
Oh, good. Oh.
Noah's on.
Oh, if Noah's on and Brittany's not, I'm gonna have to say I love them both.
Brittany.
I
for
have
sure.
history with.
Listen, it's Brittany.
I have to tell you though. Now I had Brittany's older sister Amber first,
Okay.
and I had Amber was one of those kids you just go, wow, how did God do you? You're amazing. She was that kid, and so I thought, I don't know that I'll ever be as close to her sister Brittany as I was to Amber. I just couldn't imagine that strong of a. And Brittany came in and just showed me it could be. And so I've had a great relationship with both of them. So I can't say one or the other publicly, but you can ask me privately, okay?
You'll say Brittany. I'm just telling you. Sorry, Noah.
She is prettier than Noah.
That's right. Let's see. That's a good question. Since you're our missions pastor now, what's been your favorite mission trip?
Wow. I've done mission trips all over. I've done overseas mission trips. I've done lots of in the U.S. mission trips. It'd be hard to pick one that was a favorite, but I think if there was one that reshaped a group, is when I first came back here, and we took a group to Pennsylvania, and we actually made national headlines. They almost closed the campground we were in because of our group. Mysterious illness broke out. You want the story? Come see me. I'll tell you all about it.
COVID-19? Or?
It was way before that, but we actually almost it was a weird situation, but it did hit international or hit national news. It was kind of across the country, this strange illness. But that mission trip had a huge impact on that group and a huge impact on the people we were working with. So it was a great mission trip. But all of them are. I love mission trips and want to encourage youth to go do mission trips.
Yep.
Life change happens on those.
Absolutely. All right. Noah's asked this question twice. So
do I like him or his wife better?
No, because we all know the answer is Brittany. He wants to know what was the best prank you ever did? Not that we are endorsing pranks on this show.
Let me just tell you my philosophy, and this would be a good philosophy for you to adopt, okay? As a youth pastor, I always believed if somebody pranked me, they were saying that they loved me. And I just was always going to love back a whole lot harder.
That's right.
Because I wanted the reputation that if you prank Mike, it's going to happen. Probably my best one. There was a bunch. I did so many different things. I tried to be creative. But my favorite one was we had one girl who had pranked me, and then she got kind of cocky about it. You can't get me back any better than So I got into her house, stole all her clothes, everything, all of them. Took them to my house, had some people help me.
You get arrested for breaking in.
I know. Isn't that weird?
That? Yeah.
No, nobody knows. Nobody knows. Put everything in bags, wrapped it in duct tape, each individual item, took her clothes and developed or spread them out amongst 5 different bags, called 5 different kids who had visited our youth group and said, would you help me with the prank? Gave them the bag. And for the next 5 weeks, I would give her 1 clue a week, and she would have to figure out the clue, call that person, invite them to church, and then she'd get her clothes back. So for the first whole week, she wore the same outfit every day. That was my favorite prank.
She probably never came back to you.
She never pranked me again. She still loved me, though. She still loved me.
She probably joined another church. Oh, man, that's funny. All right. Well, we're going to play one more game here with you guys. That'll kind of get us to our Bible study tonight. It's called Missing Word. And the way this works, Sam, she'll throw the instructions up on the screen. Works like this. It says, can you find the missing words that connects these 3 things? So, for example, we've got a sample here to help you out. All right. If the words were lunch, tool, and cardboard, Mike, what do you think would be the connecting word to all 3 of those?
Lunch, tool, and cardboard.
Spork. That would not be correct. What we're looking for is the word box. I'm looking for the word box. There, lunch box,
there we
box,
go.
cardboard,
Okay.
box. Nice try. Very good, those of you who got that right. So now that you know how to play, we're going to play for real, and we're going to give away a Chick-fil-A sandwich or a Chick-fil-A gift card to every right answer tonight.
I like Chick-fil-A.
So, I do too. We've given away a lot of Chick-fil-A over the past just about every week. We've given away Chick-fil-A.
No wonder people watch this.
I know. You know what? Every right answer. Why not?
Here we go. Every right answer gets
Every right answer gets a Chick-fil-A. And if you get more than every right answer, every first right answer. They have to be first. I'm sorry, Susan. Susan's getting all, that would be a lot of Chick-fil-A if we gave the right answer. You got to be first and have the right answer. So, all right, here we go. Here's number 1. Shopping, go, golf. Shopping, go, golf. Looking for the first answer. Jacob Zabinko says carts. That is correct.
Yep.
That is correct. $10 Chick-fil-A coming to you, Jacob Zabinko. Hey, by the way, I think for next week, I'm just throwing this out here. We should have donated to us $10 gift certificates to the Bucket, the Barrel. Where do you work? The Barrel of Fun. You ever been there?
No. Is it fun?
I went the other day, but the line was so long, so the food must be delicious, that I didn't have time to wait.
And who works there? Zabinko?
The Zabinkos work there. Haley and Jacob both work there. So, man, we could give away gift cards to the Barrel of Fun. I think that'd be a great idea. Can we?
What kind of food is
that?
that?
He says he'll see what I can do. I'll get some chips. Nice. Well done. All right. Good deal. All right. So here comes number 2. Rubber head wedding. Rubber head wedding. What is the connecting word? It is band. Gracie Spear. Rubber band, headband, wedding bands. Gracie Spear, we got some Chick-fil-A coming your way. All right, number 3. New Blue Full. New Blue Full. Is it Moon? Josiah Hartzell says Moon. It is Moon. Very good. All right, number 4. Warner Wright Grimm. Do you know this one? Warner Wright
Yes.
Grimm.
You want me to say it? I've just been
Brothers.
Brothers.
Let's see. It is Brothers. We got that. Kelly Grant got it. Very good. Warner Brothers, Wright Brothers, and Grimm. Who are the Grimm brothers?
I've watched the videos, the movies, the Grimm Brothers, the shows, but
I don't. All right, next one. Talent Girl Cub. Talent Girl Cub. Haley Zabinko got it. Scout. It is Scout.
Scout.
Yes, Scout. Very good. How many have we done, Susan? We've done 5. All right. Let's do 2 more. Gangsta Bubble Plastic. Gangsta Bubble.
It's not all spelled the same way,
Plastic.
though, is it, that answer?
All right. It is Rap. Ashlyn Hartzell.
It's not all spelled the same way, gangsta. Rap.
With Rap. Yeah, absolutely. All right. So Ashlyn Hartzell got that. So both Hartzels getting some Chick-fil-A. Man, they should take their parents out. I
Wow.
think that's a great idea. All right, let's do one more. Meat, Moth, Medicine. They all start with M, Mike.
It's the one word my grandson can say.
It is ball.
Ball.
All right, Gracie. All right, let's see. Gracie got it. Ashlyn Hartzell, Josiah got it. Noah Frankie got it.
Noah
Was next
Frankie
in line.
got that?
But you know what? He's on staff. He doesn't count. Kaylee Smith, you get the Chick-fil-A. Plus, Noah's on vacation. So,
I'm surprised, being the rec guy, he would get anything that would have ball.
ball. Yeah, that's right. That's right. So, we'll give it to Kaylee Smith. All right. Good job. That was fun. Well, we started a brand new series last week called Love, Hate. And before we dive in, check out this bumper video. Oops. All right. Well, I have a question for you. Have you ever felt thankful that one of your friends gave you a heads up about something, like even though it might have been awkward for them? Like it was uncomfortable at the time, but ultimately you knew that they said it because they were looking out for you. Something like this. Yo, dude, you've got some food in your teeth. Anybody ever said that to you? I saw you picking your teeth earlier. You know,
It wasn't my teeth.
That's awkward. You know, to even ask, hey, do I have teeth or food in my teeth? That's weird. Or how about this? Maybe you've had this one. Dude, your fly's down.
I was in front of a group. Hands in my pocket.
Yep.
One of my friends told me.
Yep. I got saved one time. I was getting ready to go up and preach. And right before I went on stage, somebody caught it. And whew,
I was teaching a group
glad.
of adult workers.
Yep. How about this one? Hey, man, you've got ketchup on your forehead. Maybe they don't ask how it got there, but, you know, whatever. This is the worst. This has actually happened to me. They're like, hey, the person you're talking about right now, they're like right behind you. Have you ever had that? Go back and watch the gossip thing from last week, you know, but that's awkward.
Very awkward.
You know, we've all had those awkward moments, right? We've had those times where we're glad that somebody had the guts to say something to us to save us from some trouble. You know, nobody really likes to hear that they've got food on their shirt or toilet paper stuck to their shoe, but we are thankful that somebody cared enough about us to look out for us, to save us from that embarrassment, to tell us the truth. Now, let's think about the other side for just a second. Have you ever felt like you should really say something to somebody else, but you weren't sure how to go about saying it? I mean, think about it. Like telling your friend that they have food on your face is one thing, but man, there's some bigger things that we have to think about too. For instance, think about this, Mike. Like talking to your friend about a relationship that you don't think's good for them. Man, that's a little tougher than hey, you got ketchup on your face. Or how about this one? Confronting someone about some decisions that they're making because you know that the decisions they're making aren't real great. How about this one? Speaking up about something that you know is going to get somebody else in trouble. Those things are a little bit harder to talk about and to bring up. So let me ask you this question. Mike, I'm going to ask you, but I want you guys to chime in on the chat with this too. On a scale of 1 to 10, how difficult is it for you to be honest with a friend when you're concerned about a decision that they're making? One of these things that we talked about. What do you think, Mike?
Josh, I think for most people, if most people were honest, they would say, gosh, I land on about 8 or 9 on that scale.
Yeah.
It is that difficult.
Yeah.
And partly because we have a mindset that confrontation is unhealthy. We live in a day and age when it feels uncomfortable when somebody says something, but the Bible says this, it says as iron sharpens iron, so one man sharpens another. That's a rub that's sharpening us. And that rub is a relational rub. And so sometimes conflict and confrontation is a part of it, but it doesn't feel easy. And we're never sure what do I have the social skills to navigate that. Yep. So a lot of folks say I'm an 8 or 9. It's just that hard for me.
Yeah. Like if your brother or your sister starts hanging out with somebody that you know is not a good influence on them, you're like, who? Do I say something? Do I not say something? If your best friend is making decisions that you know their parents wouldn't approve of, is it really your place to say something about it? And so what we end up doing most of the time, we just kind of avoid those conversations altogether, don't we? But really kind of the question is why? Why do we avoid these difficult conversations like this, Mike?
I think there's a lot of reasons. Sometimes because of culture's influence, we're not sure that what they're doing is really all that wrong.
Yep.
And we have to understand that there's a different standard for us as Christians that what determines our values is the Word of God. And so we have to stand firm there, but culture will take a different voice. And so we'll go, everybody else says that's not really all that big a deal.
Right. That's true.
I kind of think it is. So that's one of the reasons why people oftentimes won't do it.
Yep.
I think another thing is, and this is huge right here, I think another thing is that sometimes I'm afraid I'm going to lose a friend.
Absolutely.
When I confront them and I say to them, that's wrong and you shouldn't be doing that, they're going to get angry and it's going to escalate and things will get said. And I'm afraid I like my friend. And so I'd rather be quiet than risk the friendship.
Ooh. Yeah, that's good. I know I found myself in situations where like that where, I'm thinking, what, it's less risky to be quiet than it is to lose that friendship, to risk losing that friendship. That's good.
Sometimes I'm guilty of the same thing they're doing too, or I have been. I've done what they're doing, and so I feel like a little bit of a hypocrite if I say to them, "Don't go down this road."
Yep. Because they're going to turn and look at you like,
"You did,
dude. You were just doing the same thing a month ago. Right. What's up with that?"
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe maybe we just feel like people won't listen to us. Like we call something out and we're like, man, they're not even going to listen to me anyway.
What makes you the expert? How do you, it's my life. Why do you get to decide?
Yep. Or maybe even we just don't know what to say. Like,
because confrontation is difficult. How do I start that? How do I navigate that? And having the right word to say it's easier to be quiet.
Yep. And so realistically, we can come up with all kinds of excuses as to why we shouldn't have those conversations or why we can't have those conversations. But let me ask you a question, guys. And I want you to really think about this. How much do you have to hate someone to see them walking down a path of destruction and not say anything? Think about that for just a second. How much do you have to hate somebody to see them walking down a path that's going to lead them to a place of destruction and brokenness and not say anything? For some of you, it's the reality. You're sitting there at home going, this is not a problem for me. I'm actually the exact opposite, because you have no problem telling somebody exactly how you see it. You're not shy about speaking up at all. And the problem with that is you might be the kind of person who speaks up in a way that causes people not to listen. You might be the kind of person that has no problem speaking up because you're wanting to speak up to prove that you are right. You're wanting to prove a point to somebody, and maybe you don't find it hard to speak up at all. Well, if you've ever wrestled with any of this stuff that we've kind of talked about already, the good news is this: you're not alone. I mean, I've dealt with this, Mike. You've dealt with this. We've all been there. We all know what it feels like to know that we need to say something, yet we find ourselves kind of unsure of what to say or even how to say it.
Even for those of us who
Go
are
ahead.
professionals.
Absolutely.
At times, it's difficult
Absolutely.
for us. As a student pastor, and you know this, as a student pastor, I would so many times would see kids going in directions, and I'd be going, there's nothing but pain down that road. Don't go there. But I knew there was risk in that process. And so there's a fear. It's hard to do. So it's even for those of us who do this as part of our job or our calling, it's difficult.
Yeah. So kind of what we want to talk about tonight for just a few minutes is, what if there was a way to kind of learn an approach to these conversations that would help us? What if there was a way to be helpful and kind when we choose to speak up? What if there was a way to have these difficult conversations that end up bringing about something good rather than something bad? Because here's the thing. Let's just be honest. I mean, nobody wants to be known as the hater. Nobody wants to be seen as that, oh, I'm such an awesome friend that I'm going to call out every wrong thing that anybody's ever done. And I'm going to be the one to point the finger and say, you did this and you did that and you need to stop doing this. We don't want to be that friend, right?
And we don't want to be around that friend.
We don't want to be around that friend either. We want to be the kind of friend who looks out for others, who's known for our love. But how do we make sure we're doing this in the right way? How do we make sure that we're being a good friend, that we are helping our friends when they're going down a difficult path, but doing it in a way that shows them love? Well, last week we talked about, those of you who tuned in, we talked about how we should be all about love. And we started this series, Love Hate, because the reality is we would all love to be known for the way that we love. We would love to have that kind of reputation. But if love is the goal here, and talking about these difficult conversations, how are we supposed to handle these situations? When somebody is literally doing something bad or something dangerous or something just plain dumb, like how do we go about these conversations with love? Maybe like we talked about, maybe we should just avoid them. This seems to kind of be the way we're supposed to behave, right? We're all just supposed to be okay with what everybody else does and everybody else's choices because it's their life, and who am I to judge and things like that. We're told, Mike, how many times have we heard this? We're just told, mind your own business, right?
Yep.
But that is such bad advice, because I think deep down inside, we all know that this isn't the case, especially when it comes to people closest to us. We want to do something to help them.
We have to understand my brother and sister are my business.
Yeah.
They are. I'm called, Cain and Abel.
Yeah.
Cain said, my brother's keeper. Yes, you are. So absolutely.
And so what we want to look at for just a second, we're very fortunate because the Bible actually talks about this. Paul actually gives us a little bit of advice. He writes a letter to the church at Galatia, which is kind of modern day Turkey, if you can kind of put that on the map. And Paul's giving some real insight to this topic. And here's what Paul says in Galatians chapter 6, verse 1. It says this: Dear brothers and sisters, if another believer is overcome by some sin, you who are godly, and I want you to get this part, you who are godly should, underline this, gently and humbly help that person back onto the right path, and be careful not to fall into the same temptation yourself. Now, let's stop for just a second. Mike, what are some examples of things a middle schooler or a high schooler might need to be honest with a friend about?
Well, for middle schoolers, we go back to our camp conversations. Dude, you might want to take a shower.
Yeah, exactly.
Or you might want to consider starting to use deodorant.
I've had to have those conversations.
With some of the middle schoolers. Choose your peers wisely.
Yeah.
It's conversations that you may want to have. Hey, that friend's not going to have good influence in your life, not going to lead you down the paths you're really going to want to go.
Yeah.
You mentioned earlier, maybe that's not a person you should be dating. When you look at who you are as a believer in Christ and who they are, maybe you shouldn't. Those friends that you're now running around with are now leading you in the wrong direction. Those places you've been going. I remember in my second youth group when I was in Memphis, Dave Richardson, I was his youth pastor at the time. I remember a group of our students who were solid kids, got involved in going to a certain thing each
Mhm.
week that ultimately was the first step in a walk away.
Mhm.
So maybe you shouldn't be going to certain places. So lots of those kind of conversations that are out there.
Yeah. Yeah. To kind of help you understand what we're talking about, I want you to think about it this way. This is going to be on your screen. When we care about someone else, we want what's best for them. We don't want to see them hurt themselves or anyone else. And sometimes, get this, and sometimes that means we have to speak up when we see them heading in the wrong direction. There are times, guys, when we have to speak up, when we have to have some difficult conversations to help our friends move in a certain direction. Paul tells us this is what we should do. He says, according to this verse, we should be friends who help our friends who are struggling with things that might hurt them, with things that would lead them down the wrong path, that lead them away from God, that may even be harmful to them. It's important that we do what we can to help our friends get back on the right path. And a lot of the times, guys, that includes speaking up. Now, like we've said this the whole night, that this is super hard for all of us. This doesn't come easy. This doesn't come naturally. And so there are some reasons, there's so many reasons that we could come up with not to say anything. Sometimes we think our friends don't want to hear this. And so we choose not to say anything. Or we might be afraid that we're going to hurt, like I think you said this, Mike, we might be afraid that we're going to hurt their feelings or upset them or even damage the relationship. So we choose not to say anything. But I think this, and I put this on your screen too, I think this, in situations where our friends are walking towards something that could be really bad news for their lives and their futures, we have to care about the person more than the relationship. Let me say it again. We have to care more about the person than the relationship. Now, real quickly, I know that sounds awkward. I know that sounds weird, but here's what I mean. We have to care enough about our friend that we are willing to speak up, even if that means our friendship is a little bit bruised in the process. You talked about iron sharpening iron. That's not a feel-good type
Experience,
thing.
no.
Yeah.
No, there's a rub that's there.
There's a rub. And again, we know this is hard, but this is why we're talking about this. So to start, I want you to maybe try this, okay? When you find yourself in a position where you see one of your friends heading down a path or going somewhere that you know is leading in a place that they don't need to go, think about this. Maybe ask yourself this question. What if I put myself in their shoes? Like, what if I was the one walking down this path that I see my friend? What if I was the one walking this path and everybody else saw me potentially going down this path that was bad news for me? What would I want other people to do? Would I want a friend to stop and help me? Would I want somebody to say, hey, the choices you're making right now, they are going to be harmful to you? Would I want somebody to have the courage to have a conversation with me? I don't know about you, Mike, but I would.
Absolutely. And you go back to the verse that you read a few moments ago, and Paul says, the one who's godly should.
Mm-hmm.
There's an expectation that I'm going to do this.
Yeah.
I'm required as a Christian to do this. And I would want someone to do it to me as well.
Yep. And so when you see a friend walking down a destructive path, you have an opportunity to be that person for them. I put this on your screen. You have the opportunity to speak up and to help them move back towards the right path. And this is huge. But I want you to get this too. I want you to understand this. It's all in the attitude in which you do it.
Absolutely.
Okay. In other words, how we do this, according to Paul, is huge. And Paul says this is how we do it. We do it with humility and we do it with gentleness. You and I get to help people who are struggling with making poor decisions get right back on the path, but it's all in the attitude in which we do it. And Paul says we do it with humility and we do it with gentleness. I put this on your screen. I think this is kind of a summary here to what I just said. It's not just what you say, it's how you say it. Guys, you need to speak truth. There are going to be times in our life where we need to speak truth to other people, but we've got to speak truth in the right way and with the right heart. And Paul says to gently and humbly help your friends see the struggling down the wrong path and to help them get back on the right path. What does this look like? I put this on your screen. It means this. It means speak up with kindness. These are huge words. Speak up with kindness and love and encouragement instead of anger or frustration or judgment. That's huge. It means caring more about the person you're speaking to than the fact that you're right. It means caring more about that other person than proving a point. It means caring more about that person than you being right. It's not about proving a point, guys. Speak up, but do it with kindness. Be helpful, be encouraging, be loving. It kind of brings us to another question here, Mike, that we can talk about and they can chat about. And here's kind of the question. How can you tell the difference between being judgmental and being helpful? Because I think sometimes that gets blurred. It's like, I'm not really sure. Am I being judgmental or am I being helpful? What's the difference? How do we know?
I'm going to kind of lean into what you just said a minute ago. You know, when you make your conversation more about the rule than the relationship, when the focus is on this is what you're doing wrong, rather than there's pain ahead of you and I want to help you avoid that pain.
That's good.
When it's more about the rule than the relationship, then what happens is you're being judgmental.
That's
when
good.
When you assign value to the person based on their behavior, if you do this, you are worth less to me. Not worthless, but just worth less. You now have less value to me and to other people. And so now I'm being judgmental because I'm assigning value based on that behavior. And so the focus has to be, how do I help you see there's pain that way? Don't go there. Don't go there. And help you hear a heart of love and compassion. So what you were saying a little bit ago about asking the question, how would I want someone to do this to me?
Yep.
How would I want someone to say to me, don't go there?
Yep.
You're heading for a lot of pain.
Yep.
So that I can hear the compassion and the heart behind it,
Yep.
rather than just you goofed up and you're an idiot.
Yep. And, I was thinking about this too. We've said it several times already. Hard conversations aren't easy, but avoiding these conversations though, man, that's not loving either,
No,
right?
Absolutely, it's not.
But I'd take it a step further and say, enjoying a hard conversation by making somebody look bad, by making it more about how did you say it again? More about the
rule than
the
relationship.
relationship. I like that. Man, that's not loving either. In fact, just what you said, the conversation isn't really the point at all. The point is, am I showing love by how I treat this person?
And am I exalting myself or am I bringing them alongside?
Yeah. Love pushes us to talk about difficult things, but love also teaches us to talk about those difficult things with kindness, with compassion, because that's what love does.
True love makes hard choices, does the hard thing, not the easy thing.
Yeah.
And the easy thing is to avoid the conversation.
Yep.
The hard thing is to have it, but it's to have it in the right way.
Yeah. And I love, Paul, because he doesn't stop at the conversation. Paul actually continues here in verse 2. This is what Paul says. He says, share each other's burdens, and in this way, obey the law of Christ. In other words, how do we help them get on track? And this is what Paul says. We help them get on track by carrying each other's burdens. I want you to think about it in this way for just a second. In the world of fitness training, there's a person known as a spotter. Mike, you're all about fitness. You're in the Rock all the time. You're responsible for that. What's a spotter do?
Spotter kind of has two roles. First of all, he's checking form. When I'm doing a bench press, if I get somebody spotting me, they're making sure I'm using the right form with my bench press and I'm breathing out. I'm doing all the right technique, because if I don't, I'm going to get hurt.
Yep.
Which is key to what you're saying here. If I'm not doing it the right way, I'm ultimately going to hurt myself. But also a spotter helps to lift the weight. When you get to that point of exhaustion, I can't do this anymore, or this is beyond what I can do, then they're there to lift it off of you, to keep you from getting hurt.
Yep.
So they're putting their strength into the load as well.
Yeah. And I love this illustration because that is exactly what we're supposed to do to help people get back on the right path. We, in a sense, are called to be their spiritual spotter. In other words, Jesus followers, and we've got to do more than just speak up. Yes, there's a time to speak up, and that is great, and to point out what's wrong. But we make ourselves spotters when we do more than just speak up. when we go beyond just speaking up. I put this on your hand, or not your handout. You don't have a handout, but on the
Screen.
on the screen. There we go. Thank you, Mike. I said this: we don't just point fingers; we share burdens. We don't just point fingers; we share burdens. So, Mike, what's it look like to carry somebody else's burdens, to share somebody else's burdens?
I think part of it is you recognize. I like the way you said that. You don't just point fingers; you share burdens. You're not just saying, "Let me put my finger on the problem here." You're saying, "Let me put my hand and let me help you carry it." We have this process. To share burdens, we oftentimes think about somebody's going through some difficult times, and I'm going to help them in that process. I'm going to put my shoulder to the load. Sometimes that just means all I do is I show up and I listen. Other times, when I'm confronting, I'm saying, "This is the wrong way to go. How can I help you change it?" And I'm willing to invest my time, my energy, my love, because I want you to know you matter enough to me that I want to help you move beyond this direction you're going.
And you said something right there that's so critical, man. It's not just enough to have these difficult conversations with a friend, because the reality is, if your friend does not know that you genuinely care about them, that you have their best interests at heart, if you don't speak with kindness and gentleness and humility, like we've talked about, guess what?
They're not going to listen.
They're not going to listen. They are not going to listen. Here's the other thing. If all we do, understand this, if all we do is just say something and move on, if we're not willing to walk alongside that person, to be that spotter that we've talked about, if we're not willing to help carry that burden, guys, let me just tell you this. You might as well not even say anything. If you're not willing to walk alongside that person and to help carry, just like what you were saying, Mike, if we're not willing to do that, don't say anything in the first place, because you're going to end up causing more damage than you did good.
Yeah, how can I help?
How can I help?
Here's what I see you doing, but how can I help?
Yep. So that kind of brings us to another question here, Mike. Why is it important to have relationships with someone in order to get involved or to speak up? Why is that relationship so critical?
I think a couple thoughts occur to me on that. One is because my position affects my perception. And what I mean by that is how close I stand enables me to know affects how well I see. Give you an example. A couple weeks ago, I'm walking my dog, my favorite dog, Hudson. Okay. I'm walking Hudson down, and in the back part of my neighborhood, there's a road that runs next to a field. And so I'm walking down this road, and Hudson, I've turned him loose, cutting free. And I look ahead, and there's a bobcat in the grass up there. And I'm seeing this, he's ahead of me, and I'm looking, and I can see the curved head. Looks like his ears are laying back, and I can see his body in the weeds. And I'm getting closer, and I'm thinking, okay, now when I get closer, he's going to get scared, and he's going to leave, because he's going to see me, and he's going to run away. And I got a big dog, and that'll scare him, So I'm getting closer, and the bobcat doesn't go. He just stays there. And I get a little bit closer, and then I realize that's not a bobcat, it's a log. Because I was closer, but it had this curved thing on top, looked like a head, but my position affected my perception.
Ooh,
I was
good.
a long ways away, so it looked one way. And in relationships, that's true. The closer I am, the better I see.
Yeah.
So when I'm up close to you, now I see what you're going through a little bit different lens.
Yeah.
But also, you're more accepting in the context of the relationship. If I'm just somebody standing outside your life and going, "You shouldn't be doing that," you're not going to listen.
That's
So
good.
when you know my heart's engaged and I care about you, you are far more apt to listen. So it kind of affects both sides, how I see you and what you're doing, and how you respond to what I say to you.
That's good. That's really good. So let's kind of get practical for just a minute. How do we do this? What's this supposed to look like? How can we begin kind of putting this into practice this week? And I think it really kind of all comes down to this, kind of a key point here that'll be on your screen. I think this is something that we can remember. Simply this: let love be your filter. Let love be your filter. Now, you know what a filter does, right? Filter keeps out the bad stuff and only allows the good stuff through. Think about this. Coffee machines have filters, so the coffee goes through and the bad stuff stays out. Pools have filters, so the good water goes through the filter and the dirt stays out. Air conditioning have filters. Vacuum cleaners have filters. Water pour thingies, what are those called?
COVID masks have filters.
COVID masks have filters. And the filters do the same thing. They let the bad or the good stuff through, and they keep the bad stuff out. So think about all of this. Think about love in that way, that love could be our filter. Let me give you a few ideas here. All right. First idea is this: let love be your filter through your involvement. In other words, there are going to be times when you encounter a situation and the question that goes through your head is simply this: should I or should I not get involved in this friend situation? I think a great question to ask, very similar to the question we asked a minute ago, is what is the most loving thing that I can do? What is the most loving thing that I can do? Use this question as a filter, because here's what that question is going to do. That filter is going to cause you to check your motives. That filter is going to cause you to say, you know what? Am I wanting to get involved just because I want to prove a point? Am I wanting to get involved just because I want to be right? Or am I wanting to get involved because I want to help this person back towards Jesus? So let love be the filter for your involvement. The second thing is this: let love be the filter for your words. Again, ask yourself the question, how would I want somebody else to speak to me in this situation? Again, if the shoe was on the other foot, if I stepped into the other person's situation, how would I want somebody else to speak to me? Because when you filter your words through love, again, you stop to make sure that you're not throwing shade and you're not throwing judgment. And it's not about you being right. It's not about them being wrong. It's about you helping them to carry their burdens, all because you genuinely care about them. Here's the reality. I think this is so important for us to understand. Your words, when you have these tough conversations, your words will either speak hope into a person's life or speak judgment into a person's life. Like when we have these tough conversations, your words, what you say, they're either going to give that other person hope, or it's going to feel like you're casting judgment. One of those two things is going to happen. So we have to filter our words through the filter of love. And then the last thing is this, third thing is this: let love be the filter for your actions and reactions. In other words, if a friend's having a hard time with their life, heading in the right directions, again, we've said it several times, but I think it's worth saying again. Chances are they're going to need more than just your words. They're going to need your help. They're going to need your actions. They're going to need you to walk with them through that. You have to choose to filter your actions through love and ask yourself the question again: how would I want someone to live out their actions toward me if I were in that situation? Here's a couple examples. Would I want somebody else to keep their phone close so that I could call them if I find myself in a tempting situation? Would I want another person to tell an adult or professional if the situation is too big for them? Would I want them to say the hard things and then follow those words up with actions and accountability if I was in the other person's shoes? Again, let love be your filter in everything you do, with your intentions to get involved, with your words, and with your actions. And the bottom line is kind of this. This is on your screen. When we let love be our filter, we wind up sharing the burdens of those we love. When we let love be our filter, we wind up sharing the burdens of those we love. Let me ask you this real quick. I just want you to imagine for just a minute how your schools, how your friendships, how your families would be different if if more people were filtering their involvement and their words and their actions through love. We would say hard things to each other because sometimes those conversations need to happen, but they wouldn't be done in a way of judgment or hate, but out of love. And the cool thing is, by having these difficult conversations and saying these difficult things and walking with these people and carrying burdens, and we would help them from making regrets and mistakes and unnecessary heartbreaks because of bad choices. We can help them to avoid difficult conversations that we would have. Let love be your filter. Let me share one more passage that we've already talked about tonight that I think is worthwhile. And here's the passage of Scripture. Mike mentioned it earlier. It comes from Proverbs chapter 27, verse 17. It simply says this: as iron sharpens iron, so a friend sharpens a friend. Again, there's tension. There is, how did you describe it earlier?
Rub.
There's a rub. It's not an easy process sometimes,
So we make each other better in it.
but we make each other better in it. Thinking about all the stuff we've talked about tonight, I want you to check out this video.
It begins with openness, the willingness to come alongside someone else, to pour out, care, invest. It's about sharing the journey, doing life together, growing, forging, becoming. It's about selflessness, caring enough to walk through the valley, even when it's painful, to love people as Christ has loved us. It's rejoicing when they rejoice, hurting when they hurt, being a hand, an encourager, a friend. We were not created to wander alone. For as iron sharpens iron, so one person sharpens another.
All right. Hey, Mike, would you close us in prayer tonight?
You betcha. Let's pray. Father, we thank you that you've made us and designed us to want to know you and to live life best in the context of a growing relationship with you. But Father, you also made us to enjoy horizontal relationships. You've called us to live in the midst of community. So Father, I thank you for our conversations tonight as we figure out how to strengthen one another, encourage each other, how to keep each other accountable. Pray, Lord, that the words that have been shared would be things we could contemplate and think over and figure out how to apply. Would make us better for each other, make us better for the kingdom because of things that we've shared and we've looked at. We thank you for your word in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Well, guys, thanks for joining us tonight. Mike?
It's fun. Thank you for having me.
This was fun. This was great.
Enjoy
This
getting
was
to
a
be here.
lot of fun. This was a lot of fun. We do have some exciting news coming up. We'll probably announce it next week. I will just kind of give you a little teaser. It's not going to be much longer before we can get back together on Wednesday nights. And I can't wait for that.
I thought you were going to tell us you were pregnant or something.
No, not that.
Exciting news.
Now, my belly kind of looks like it. But thanks, guys, for tuning in, for chatting with us, for hanging out, for learning, for praying, for growing with us. Because we're all in this together. And man, I can't wait to see you guys again. Real quick plug before we get off of here. Remind you that we do have in-person services, worship on Sunday at 8:30 and 10 o'clock. Several of you I've gotten a chance to see, and I'd love to see some more of you this week. 8:30 or 10 o'clock.
Good to be back in church together.
It is great to be back in church and to see people again. Let me just real quick throw a quick thing out too, because several people watching have been coming earlier and spending their Sundays to greet people and welcome people.
It's been really cool.
It's been so cool.
It's been a blessing.
It's been so cool. So thank you guys for serving, and we'll be doing that over the next few weeks. And just thank you guys for who you are, for what you do. I can't wait to see you guys again soon. So, Mike, any final words?
Have a great evening.
All right. Well, good deal. For Josh, this is Mike. We're out of here. We love you. We'll see you later.